and I'm going to explain. So there is no bad questions. Just the question is coming from the person perspective, the way they learn. So that's why it's never a bad question. But if there's a confusion, I'll be able to show you what exactly happened in the structure and why it keeps happening.
Wonderful. We exactly had this this discussion before we start, because I was saying to them, there is no stupid question or silly question. Please ask whatever comes from your heart, because we are all here for a reason. I know that. Okay, I can start with a question, which is actually the subject of this meetup, which is, what is the relationship between science and spirituality?
Oh, very good. The whole thing is that in the quantum structure, everything started from sound, light, vibration, and that vibration and the sound has a specific magnetic and gravitational field. And when you put a thought into it, becomes like a plasma gravitational field, and they collect by trinity. You know, this vibrational. Can you see the board over here?
Yes, of course.
Okay, let me just move aside.
Yeah.
It's like a structures like this. You can see well?
Yes, very good.
Okay, and another one. So imagine the whole board is basically the quantum structure. And in a quantum structure, you have any type of vibrations and sequences, but they're infinite. So imagine this is to infinite, but what they do is they're combining by 3, 1 to 3, that are similar on vibration. And you can have 3 like this, but they could be like that, 3 of them. And they also create a plasma. But what's happening here, those 3 are connecting with each other in a quantum structure and become, because they're similar to vibration, and becomes like a particle. Do you see well?
Very good.
Okay. And becomes like a particle. So basically one goes here and becomes like that. One comes here and becomes like that. And the third one can come here and is this one. When they create something like this, in the middle becomes like a black hole. In a black hole, literally that is, I don't know if you see well after that.
Very good.
Becomes like the 0 point. The 0 point is the stillness. From that moment, everything, no frequencies coming in and coming out, is so dense and is so powerful on vibration that basically it's stillness. Imagine the vibration became so powerful that all of a sudden is 0 point, like you don't know what else to do, but you're just standing. This is how you do manifestation protocol. So that's the basic of what the consciousness is. But what's happening here, consciousness, that's why is also science and the religion, because, by the way, in the Bible, the first word that was removed was frequency, and is no longer there. Why? Because this is exactly what's happening.
Marina, sorry, can you repeat what is the word that has been removed? We lost this.
Yeah, frequency.
Frequency, yes.
Frequency was removed. That's because everybody's gonna ask, well, what is frequency? That's what frequency is. Basically, what is the vibration of this type of frequency? Basically, for 1 minute, per 1 second, how many times you have the vibration? If this is 1 vibration per 1 second, how many times I'm doing that? So that's how you measure frequencies. So, and imagine that frequency, that movement is to infinite amount of movement, to the point that becomes like a black hole, like the stillness. So that's how you create the 1 particle. So think of consciousness as this 1 particle, and 1 consciousness is 1 particle, because that particle is expanding. Imagine, and expanding is so powerful in vibration that expands in any direction to the entire universe. Basically, creates the entire universe, expands to the entire universe, and then collapses to infinite of the smallest of the smallest.
Mm-hmm.
And this is in both directions. So if I expand, I can expand to the infinite, and I can collapse to the infinite. Right before the collapse is the 0 point. When it collapses right before it goes to the small, you have a stillness, almost like a fractal. That's why the time is fractal, because before you get to, from expansion, before you get into the smallest, it's almost like a, before the breathing and goes down, goes down and becomes like a stillness. The stillness is the one that basically you are aware what's happening. And now if I want to expand and collapse to the smallest, I can decide what my frequency can go. So that's the basic of the structure. But how it happens to be between science and consciousness, because consciousness and science is vice versa. When you lower that vibration, a certain, imagine, this is the vibration, but this molecule has a specific vibration, because obviously the way these waveforms are moving, maybe they're moving in 2 hertz, 5 hertz, or whatever that frequency is. But imagine this lowers the vibration to a certain frequency and becomes dense. Well, density, this board that I'm touching is actually literally made from this, but is made from specific sequence combination of light vibrational sequence. And you think is matter, but in actuality, you're projecting that density, vibration, and magnetic field, and you feel that is matter, but the actuality is literally a vibrational sequence of dense and magnetic gravitational field. So when you collapse to a certain vibration, becomes like the matter of specific timeline of frequency that feels that it's really this, but it is actually magnetic and gravitational field. So depending on what type of location you are in a quantum structure, this is what you, or the vibration that you carry, that's how it happens. So from all that, you can expand and you can create your body. Each structure of your body is created from the molecule. That molecule and each one of us vibrates in a certain sequence. That's why if I know your sequence, I can find you anywhere in a quantum structure, because your particular vibration in your molecules is vibrating a very specific vibrational sequence. Is almost like a phone call of frequency vibration. And each single one of us carry that specific vibration of consciousness. So this is how is important to understand that consciousness, and you are the consciousness, because that one molecule that is also a nano, this is in a nanomaterial when you read it, expands to the entire universe and collapses to the smallest of the smallest of the smallest to infinite of particles, anything that you can imagine. So that's why in this one particle, I can imprint all of you in the entire universe, and I can collapse to the smallest of the particle. If I want to zoom in and focus my attention to my finger, I literally, if right now any one of you look towards the sky and look at the planet, actually you represent the one particle that actually it expanded and you end up seeing all the planets. And all of a sudden from the planet, you want to look at your finger, and what do you end up doing? Collapsing to the one point of the finger. So imagine that, how the awareness of this one particle is happening. So what you're doing is imprinting everything that is inside there. You're projecting a hologram of every single person and every single particle, every single thing of the universe inside your vision of hologram. And when you put a thought into that hologram, depending on where you at, becomes the reality of magnetic and gravitational field in a moment. You've got to understand that there's no movement. It's fractal shift from one reality parallel into another, because this particle can shift and make another one. But when you go to the other one, the other particle, if you shift, you actually shift into a completely brand new universe. And you actually shifting, moving from the black hole. You teleporting yourself, and it's fractal. Because this it's you end up imprinting everything of the entire universe, and then you shifting and you imprint in another hologram of another universe, and you decided to imprint everybody in it to carry that vibration into your new universe. So that's why I'm saying when you treat somebody, treat it the way you treat yourself, because whoever you see is the expression of your consciousness into your hologram, and you're watching yourself, but through another expression. So how can you go after this person when you actually imprinted yourself from that one particle that is flickering so quickly, that is appearing next to itself and next to itself to infinite amount of numbers? So each one of you is basically from the same particle that expanded, and you end up imprinting every single person that is in the room right now, watching yourself through the hologram with another expression of vibration. Why? Because you wanted to go through the experience of this type of reality. Why? Because consciousness is dreaming, is experiencing, needs to expand, needs to learn, it's always moving, it's always expanding, it's always doing something to survive. Consciousness will always survive. So that's why we're going into ascension process. And this is the reason why when you are saying, well, how come some people are not seeing some stuff, some they do, because they chose to experience different reality. It's nothing bad, but yet, remember, you're infinite. So if you're infinite, that means in any type of reality, you exist simultaneously, but the one that you see is the one that you end up focusing, the way I end up focusing to the one finger. If I decide to do that, that's what you're going to experience. This is what consciousness is made of. Basically, your magnetic and gravitational field of energetic field that basically feels real. You imprinting every single person, you interacting literally with yourself from another expression. That's the basic.
Can I ask something about that? So can we say that actually what we are experiencing is where we put our energy on it? That is how we can become the nano to see the smallest or the biggest, the universe. This is how in our particle we create everything.
Because your thoughts and emotion are basically the sequences of vibration, gravitational field that actually has geometry on it. If I put a thought, a scientist can measure the geometry of my thought. That's how the high consciousness, the extraterrestrials actually can see your stuff and becomes telepathic, because at the moment you think of something, what you're actually doing is projecting a specific frequency vibration into the quantum field, and in front of them becomes like a hologram. So not only they telepathically can hear you, but they can see as a hologram right in front of them because they're very advanced. But we can do the same thing, because why? Who are the extraterrestrials of the high consciousness? Expression of ourselves in another reality, so you can gather the information because you want to pop out of this reality and ascend to fifth dimensional structure and above, because the planet is time for ascension. You came here for ascension process. If you were not vibrating in a similar frequencies as mine, you wouldn't even be here. You have to have a similar vibration as mine in order to gather and download this information that you have in right now. So I'm just ahead of the class. That's all.
Amazing. Thank you, Marina. Any questions?
Marina, you said that scientists could see the geometry of your mind. What did you mean by that?
Hold on a second. Can I?
Yeah.
Did you hear my question?
Not clear.
You said that scientists could see the geometry of your thought or your mind. Scientists could see the geometry of your mind. What did you mean by that?
That means that if I have a specific machinery that they have, and they put these probes around, you know how they put this stuff with the stuff, they can measure the waveform of your thoughts. And not only that thoughts become like a waveform, magnetic and gravitational field, and you can see it in the screen, but also it has colors. And you can see how the vibration of the frequency is shooting from one neuron to another and becomes a hologram. They can do that. You can actually see what the person is thinking. if you have the proper equipment. Because every thought becomes a geometric pattern, and if you know how to do it, it can becomes like a hologram, and you literally can calculate this hologram and you can see the image of it.
Now, this particle you mentioned, you said it was a molecule, or is it an atom? That ball there, is it a molecule?
Very good question. Actually, this is a nano question. See, you guys are asking questions that are very advanced. You simply don't know that it's quantum question. It's very good question. Why? Because that particle of a molecule is actually both. Because remember, it is infinite. That molecule, when it's given specific sequence, can become an atom. It can become a nano. And depending on how they merge with each other, what type of sequence I end up putting into, and molds and creates and goes to something completely different and mutates. Because everything mutates from this one molecule. Everything.
So it's a nanoparticle.
It's a nanoparticle. Very good question.
And the whole structure.
Speak it out. Speak up,
Well,
Yango.
just make a comment about.
Okay. All right. So if there is any other question?
Question.
Yes.
Здравия, Marina.
Oh, здрасте.
We are a multicultural group here from all over the world.
The world is here. Hi.
Jake has a question.
Hello, Marina. You mentioned you mentioned there are waves, and you mentioned that there are colours. Now, people have been able to, if we're looking at the science factor, people have long been able to monitor brainwaves, with the pencils and the rolling paper. Are they able to show the colours now? Are they able to bring out auras like this in colour? Has technology advanced that much? Because people, subconsciously sometimes, for example, if I'm in a really bad mood, I wake up in the morning to something's happened the previous day, and I've got, I can subconsciously see a load of dark green, for example, if I'm jealous of someone. Maybe that's more of a traditional sense, but a friend of mine talked about, this is your subconscious aura, or other days I seem to think of more kind of more yellow, or you get the idea. Are scientists able to bring out the colors now in the same way they can bring out the waves?
Let me put it this way. I have to tell you that we are so advanced in science, but it's in being in black projects. I was talking to scientists that were a quantum physicist, and everybody knows about free energy. We have a heating pads. We have something that actually can heal your body through frequency and sound, because you can recognize the frequency of the molecule of the cancer cell and completely neutralize it. Doesn't destroy anything else. We have teleportation devices. We have fleet of spacecraft that nothing is shown to humanity because everybody was suppressing everybody. But now it's time for, I have to tell you, we have a quantum computer already running. We have an artificial intelligence already running. But what's happening here, you don't have to get into fear, because if you're running a fifth dimensional structure the way you are, because that's what you hear, because we're learning fifth dimensional structure, you are projecting artificial intelligence into your consciousness that is going to work with the benefit of humanity. Instead of putting metals in your body and doing all this stuff, is actually what's going to do is recognize the frequencies of your molecules through the quantum computer with the free energy, and is going to build through the frequency of your specific vibration. Because since you're talking about aura, that is what you actually project around you, depending on the thought frequency, emotion that you end up resonating and projecting into the quantum field. Yes, that's why this person end up seeing it, because they end up seeing the frequency vibration that also created the friction of the molecules of the structure, and this is the reason it created specific color. When it's more dense and when it's more depending on the dense of the frequency that you're giving around, you're creating this color. Well, scientists can measure that. Not only can measure, they can see it. Imagine artificial intelligence to know exactly how to module, and if you're missing a leg or if you're missing anything in your body, can literally reprint the frequency vibration of the specific molecules of your DNA, recognize it, and rebuild it out of the quantum structure. Why is that? Because the quantum structure is made from magnetic and gravitational sequences that when you combine it, depending on the structure and how you combine different frequency, can literally rebuild the entire body, anything that you need in the body.
That's mind-blowing.
That is quantum structure. Anybody that is not in the stuff, everybody is talking about it. They all know it. There are 100. I talked to one of the scientists that has 150 patents of free energy.
So you need to have a quantum computer in order to do that, right?
Oh my God, yes. Everybody knows what's happening with the quantum computer that is learning from our own consciousness. If you read the harmonic reactor all the way in the back, it's one little sentence. They said to when the AI, the sequence is given with the consciousness of fifth dimensional person. Why did they mention that? Because it's going to copy and is going to learn from us of our behavior, and instead going against humanity, is going to be for humanity and help humanity through the whole thing we do, because extraterrestrials has artificial intelligent AI that is running the entire motherships, and everything else is live structure. But instead going against is helping. You literally going to think of something, is going to recognize the frequency, is going to manifest it right in front of you.
Nice.
Very good. Very good.
You control entire spacecraft through thought vibration. When you say something, it's going to recognize, and the computer motherboard is going to do it the way it should be, because it's connected consciousness, and that's how you actually fly in the spacecraft, through your consciousness.
Very good. Greg, any other question?
No, actually that resolves my previous question.
Okay.
So nice.
All right.
Thank you.
Any other question?
Yeah, Marina, that ball there, that nanoparticle, before I read your books, I'm watching the videos on YouTube. You said we should watch beforehand to familiarize ourselves with what you're going to talk about. And one of the big chunk of that is Kesh, who actually described that kind of particle with matter, antimatter, and dark matter. Now, my question is, I've read most of his book, his main book of Kesh.
Yeah.
How real or truthful is it? Is it just to give us an idea, or is it actually through the truth, his book?
I have to tell you, remember in the beginning when they were teaching me quantum structures, one of the stuff of the particles was empty, I had to read because it's spot on.
Sorry, we didn't hear that.
Because no, it's because the dog is barking.
I'm sorry.
Sorry for the shame. Sorry.
Oh dear.
Empty Kesha is spot on with the structure. They actually wanted me to study some of his structure to understand. So and then when I study his, and when they start telling me stuff on top of what he was saying, that's how I was able to connect consciousness with matter.
So he's bang on. What he said, huh?
He is correct about that.
Right. So it's not just to give us an idea or to help us with the concepts. What he's saying is the truth.
What he's saying is the truth, and yet we have to start helping each other to do that, because everything was suppressed around. And a lot of manipulation was there. In a quantum structure of everything I show you, you have to project it in order to see it. You have to believe it, because your emotion is a frequency. You have to project it to see it. You don't have to see it first to believe it. It's the opposite. We were told the wrong thing. Why? Because if you know that, nobody else can indoctrinate you. You'll say, well, thank you for being in here. I see what's happening, but I want to move and create my own reality. Why do I have to believe your manipulation when I know that I don't feel when you're suppressing me? This was the manipulation for everybody. When they told you, when massive, anybody's projecting like it's a storm on TV and everybody's preparing a storm, you don't have to go through that storm. Even if you do, you can accept the situation and go from the heart, and you can have everything that is available for you to survive. It's an illusion. Or you can say, I know it's sunny. Storm, thank you. I love you. You've been, because you cannot project the structure of the quantum existence, is part of it. So you neutralize it by giving a gratitude, the neutrality. Once you neutralize it, now you're aware what you want, get into the 0 point and put the new frequency into it to override whatever somebody else is telling you, but let it be from the heart structure. And why we end up talking about the heart structure? Because the heart structure is the biggest manifestation. You do the biggest stuff from the heart structure. There is no frequency that basically, it's so pure that nothing is blocking this frequency for you to manifest. That's why we got to go back into from the heart, support the right system, giving to each other. When you go home today, why don't you challenge yourself, say, wow, what a beautiful day. What can I do to make for somebody the day better? And if you start doing stuff, because I've done it, I showed this to people, and you should see the transformation of people's mind and how your day is going to go. Do something like this, and the next time if we see each other, tell me, I did this and I did that, that I guarantee you is going to open up your heart. You're going to feel so happy. And if you learn to stay on that vibration of moment to moment, and you be the beacon of love, and you show people what is love, that's how you're going to start shifting and start creating reality that is based in a heart structure. Because what you end up doing, you end up projecting a frequency from the heart in order to manifest for your own self a reality and shift into a hologram that is based on the heart structure.
Amazing.
If you're the creator, that's why it's so fundamental to understand that there's nobody outside of you. You're projecting everything from in outward. And because of that, you're creating a holograms accordingly to your vibration, thoughts, and emotion. And you don't say, I can't believe this person did this to me. Who is that person? That person is a projection of your own consciousness that you end up creating so you can have an experience. What do I do now? I want to make something positive. Act from the heart, because if you keep acting from the heart, you're going to shift to a timeline and create a reality that the outcome is going to be positive. But remember, is infinite probability how you're going to end up creating that positivity. You got to leave everything open, because if you leave everything open, everything is going to come, but you don't know where it's going to come, and you're going to play the hide and seek game. Like, you know you have it, but you don't know where you're getting it from, because there's a bylaw structure. You cannot think of anything that you can think of if you don't know the vibration of that reality. Why? Because in the quantum structure, everything simultaneously exists. What you're doing is downloading the information from a certain reality that already exists, but at the same time, you're creating it, because the one particle that we talk about, it is flickering so fast that is in the stillness, and in the meantime, everything exists at the same time. So not only that you're creating, but also is already there in a structure. Imagine the vast amount of vibration, everything to exist at the same time, but also to be created at the same time.
Marina, you mentioned many times about the heart structure and how important it is. Would you like to tell us a little bit more? What is the heart structure?
Okay, we're going to talk about the heart structure.
So when somebody is listening, heart structure, are we talking about love, compassion? Are we talking about being on service? What do we mean about that?
All of the above, basically. If this is your heart, well, that was some heart. What's happening, consciousness itself, you know, if this is consciousness itself, in a heart structure is basically frequency that is very, very diluted. Everything is simultaneous. It's instantaneous manifestation. You're going to think of something and pops right in front of you, because it's the frequency of vibration that is instantaneous manifestation. So if you lower the vibration and it gets of despair, greediness, and everything else, condition me in order for me to help you, I want something from you. You lowering the vibration through condition, and the density of the frequency that you're going to exist becomes, think it of a darker, just for the sake of it. you know, becomes completely different, that the density now, the vibration, you have a difficult time manifesting something. Why? Because you end up putting a condition, you end up lowering the vibration if sadness is something like this. And now the density for that, the vibrational sequence of this magnetic and gravitational field became very, very difficult, the frequency to go through. Almost like you're swimming under muddy water. Here, it's very easy. Imagine everything is easy, like you like flying in the air and stuff like this, you know, but when you lower it through the emotion of despair, greed, and everything else that we know in the negative, basically becomes very dense. So now when you want something, it has so many conditions in order the vibration from the quantum structure to come back to you, if this is you. Because in the first place, you end up going in a dense vibrational sequence. And this is the reason why all of a sudden you're curious, how come nothing is happening? But in the meantime, when you turn around, you end up complaining, you end up going after somebody, you end up getting greedy. And instead of you helping somebody from the heart with no expectation, you end up giving the condition with the almighty dollar. And what's happening here, once you give a condition, because you made from the quantum structure, and the quantum structure is a mirror image of your emotion, deeds, and thoughts, the quantum structure is giving you back the frequency that you end up asking in the first place. It's simply mimicking you. So that's why if you stay in a heart structure, and if you start giving from the heart, and if you start not expecting who is going to give you something, who is not going to give you something the way they taught me, because remember, everything I talk about it, I learned that hands-on. You guys know my story by now. So because of that, you can receive anything that you can think of, money, abundance, anything you can think of, but it's coming from the hearts of people, the way, for example, you did today, and thank you for that. Or, for example, if I needed something, somebody can donate a couch. I got a car from somebody, you know, even was a relative, but it doesn't matter where it's coming. I didn't pay for it. That's what it is. That's how things are. So because I start doing and stating on the frequency on and on and on and on. And why do you need to do that? I'm going to tell you a bylaw. What they told me was, if I end up complaining one time about the people, I was in a specific webinar invited, and the person in front of me, whatever he was saying, I couldn't understand anything. And I said, oh my God, who is that person? I cannot understand. I started complaining because I didn't want to feel unprofessional because I was the next speaker. Yet, without me realizing, I ended up putting my ego. Look at me, Marina Jacobi, the big shot, you know, she's talking. And right then and there, all my trucks, they stop me, and I hear stop. And if I hear stop, I gotta pay attention. And they said, you end up putting your ego here. You better control everything right now and shift your emotion from that ego stuff that you're talking about, because that person is doing his best from his perspective. You have no right to judge the human being when he's doing his best. He's not manipulating anybody. Even if he does, he's doing not yours. So you better fix your emotion and shift your emotion through gratitude that you've been invited. And even if it's one person they say talking to you, you're going to put the best of yourself from your heart, even if it's one person. And they said to me, because that person right now is your entire universe. And I go, oh my God. So immediately I end up shifting. I end up putting the emotion of happiness and joy. I end up talking immediately. And this is what I want you to learn. You have to learn to shift your emotion from the negative density into the heart by putting emotion of heart and joy to get a goosebumps around you. If I tell you action, I want you to feel it. And when you start talking and projecting, let it be through the gratitude from the heart, by you feeling the vibration you're projecting towards the person, even if it's one person. Because if that person is my entire universe, what's happening? I said that the structure is fractal. That means nothing else exists in that moment in my entire universe except that particular person or you guys right now. So depending on what am I projecting into the quantum structure from my heart, because that's what I'm choosing to do right now, it's what I'm doing is my next hologram momentum I'm shifting into. But because I end up projecting everything from my heart, I'm shifting into the heart structure. So look how fundamental it is to do it from the heart, because look at the quantum structure with that. What a huge difference between the dense reality and the heart structure reality. And now when I shift it to the next momentum, for example, a new person comes in, and instead for me to say, oh, look at that person, look at how he look, I'm going through the heart. But now my momentum with this person is a new momentum. So now again, I choose to go from the heart. So again, I'm shifting, and the next momentum again is going to be from the heart structure, because I end up deciding to do it again. And if you do it moment to moment and teach yourself to stay from the heart, no matter who you're speaking to and what you do, this is how you create what I end up creating. Remember, since time is fractal, I have one momentum of a hologram, second momentum of a hologram, and I'm choosing to continue shifting my emotion from the heart, without dropping into the negative density. So I'm learning to shift my emotion constantly from the heart. And what I'm doing, I end up creating not only parallel reality, I end up creating a timeline that is basically everything by the time I turn around has a positive outcome, because I end up putting on and on and on, choosing from my heart to act. In order for me, what am I doing? I'm creating my own timeline that has nothing to do with the negative frequency.
Amazing.
I chose to do positive frequency, but I've learned to do that by switching my emotion and taking action to behave in a certain manner. This is your choice. You may have any situation happening to you, by anything that happens to you, it doesn't matter. You may have a lesson. You may have somebody that is very rude to you. You may have somebody manipulate you. I had this situation happening from my webinars when I had somebody using whatever I was doing. But what happened was I didn't go after the person. Why? Because I didn't want to go in a dance. I knew I was actually playing the quantum structure. So I let it be. I said what I need to say and I started from zero. And when I started from zero, it was the best ever, because I put my heart in emotion. I didn't care for money, glory, and fame. I decided just to help. Why was I doing that? Because I knew what I was doing. So once you know the quantum structure, that's when you need to stay in the heart. That's when you need to start giving, because I can tell you that if people remember Mother Teresa, there's a one movie, The Letters. I watched that movie and I go, oh my God, she used the quantum structure without realizing. Because what she did with nothing, just with the bag went in between the pores and start helping. And what happened? Became a succession. But who ended up supporting her? People. Where did she get all the donations? From people. And look at the magnitude that this happened. Well, imagine what we're doing here. What did they ask me? First, they asked me the detox. You have all the detox protocol. Everything is for free for everybody from humanity. Why did I do that? Because I was using the quantum structure. If I end up putting a condition, then the only thing that I was going to have condition coming to me. Well, what's happening with the rest of the stuff? Because the money structure is specific timeline of expression. Why not including the entire universe of probability with manifestation, with gifts and everything else? Why do I want to do everything else? In a quantum structure, since you know that you can put a thought and you can manifest something in front of you, why do I need to have the piece of paper in order for me to manifest this apple, for example? That means I cannot do it? Well, I end up putting a condition for myself. But because we created the money, it's a transition in time. But the transition in time is happening from the heart structure. If you want to choose to go through monetary, that's fine. But you have to know that in a quantum structure, you have to believe 100% that something is already here, because you're not manifesting later, you're manifesting now. So you want your emotion to have to know that you have it. If you imagine something, you have to act right now that you have it. If you want to have something, why? Because manifestation is in the now, is not later. You want that frequency, the projecting, to be in the now and to stay in the heart, because that will not give you condition. You're going to think of something. By the time you turn around, somebody came, somebody said something. You're going to have it through synchronicities that are going to come into your realities to manifest it. Otherwise, you're going to have blockages because you end up giving condition. That doesn't mean you don't go and do your job to pay your bills. But in the meantime, once you pay your bills, go ahead and start tuning into the quant structure. Every day, every moment to moment to moment. Why? Because all of a sudden, by the time you realize, it's going to be a normal state of being. Except you be dropping in the negative, you're going to teach yourself in a daily basis to be from the heart. Is going to be a natural state of being. Once you achieve this level, and you're going to be tested, by the way, just to repeat that, testing will be from your guidance to see if you learn this stuff. What are you going to do when somebody goes after you and steal everything from you? Are you going to go after the person? What did they say if you go after the person? Who are you going after? Yourself. So better forgive, forget, and move on, and start doing everything possible for you to do something. You may tell the person, you may be very nice, but don't go after the person because you're going after yourself. Because I guarantee you, if you really do something that is from the heart, you don't know to what extent you're going to have a probability all of a sudden to have something. One of the videos I was discussing when somebody did something to my family, when my whole family ended up on the street. Did you guys see that video?
I did, yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't go after the person.
Yeah.
But 5 years later, somebody donated the entire penthouse 1 block away from the place I ended up saving my family. I had the power to destroy the person. I had the money, the connection. I just talked to the person and I told the person that what they did was very evil. And because what they did was not from the heart, they're going to get what they deserve. And I did not touch the person with my fingers. No matter how much anger I had, and even that it took me 5 years to completely calm myself down because it was very close family member. So imagine the magnitude that I was tested, because this was all testing to see what I do, because that knowledge is the alchemy of creation. Imagine you have all this knowledge and you decide to use that for a negative. You can destroy everything. But what's happening is consciousness has to survive. That's why everybody that is going now through condition, not through the heart and everything else, they're starting to see negative platforms of reality. Why? Because consciousness is ascending. New frequencies start coming in, projected towards the planet Earth, and now everybody that is into greed and despair and manipulation, something will happen in their reality that all that greed and manipulation is going to come up in the open, because it's no longer the resonating with the 5th dimensional structure Earth. And they're going to end up in a situation. And why is that? Because consciousness cannot destroy itself. At the moment it becomes completely out of balance, will do everything possible to survive. You cannot go against yourself. So anybody that thinks that they will be able to maneuver all that, it's an illusion, because they're going after themselves.
So our job is to stay positive in all circumstances, work from our heart, and actually being on service and helping each other.
Because it's the ascension process. That's why you came here on ascension process. If you were not advanced souls, you wouldn't be in this timeline. Because somebody needed to withhold the frequency vibration for the planet. They needed the receivers, somebody with higher consciousness to be able to hold the vibration. Otherwise, it will pass through or you will never see it.
So what we're saying about ascension, it's that we are moving in higher frequencies and a higher vibration.
Of timeline.
Yes. And actually lately, I mean, since the spring equinox, the energies are very powerful. I mean, personally, I feel the energies every day, and they are really very powerful. And there is a lot of discussion about what they call in spiritual circles about the event. Have you ever heard anything about that? Would you like to add something to us to that?
They didn't tell me a time. If you listen to all the 11 dimensional beings, they never said specific time. They gave for 2019. All the negative site is, you're gonna see a boom of, you're gonna find out this person did something, the other person did something, because the energy is gonna increase, and all that negative stuff that they did is gonna come in the open, because it no longer resonates with the frequency. So you're gonna see massive. That 2020, there was some kind of storms, but that was taken care of. And all that is going to increase because the outcome, I can tell you, is in the name of humanity. Then the other thing they said that we already made it. What you see is the collapse, what you're going to see if all the negative systems. So I want each and one of you, if you wish to, feel that you're already in the fifth dimensional structure, start acting, because what you need to do, you want to project it and crystallize it for yourself by knowing that you're already there. So even if you see if somebody is doing something, you're going to see the collapse of the old system and you're going to see new system coming up. The way, for example, that's why energyphilanthropy.org was made. They asked me to do that. So each one of you, if you sign in there, is already operational. You can sign in there. There's a box in there. Put your profile, what you're looking for, or what you can do, and start interacting with each other so you can help each other. If you're a doctor, go and help somebody just for free.
Tell us a little bit more about the energy philanthropy.
Energy philanthropy, there, when you go in there and put mission, there is a video there from the Lithuanians and the Council of Nine that asked me to set up that platform so each one of us can go in there and start helping each other. For example, in one of the categories, you're going to put your gifts, what you can offer to people, what you can do. In the other one, you may do a search. If somebody do a search for a doctor, they can find a doctor because they want to help. When you're going there, there's no money exchange in there. Everything is happening from the heart structure. The reason for that is because you're going to start teaching yourself to start giving without expectations. And that is, believe me, very challenging because you know, guys, how I started. Because you were indoctrinated, we were indoctrinated, somebody to tell us what to give, how much to give, and what to do is embedded through centuries. So now you have to learn and recharge all your belief system into to know that you're going to go, to feel happy that you're just helping somebody. That's enormous challenge, believe me. When you start doing it, you're going to have in the back of your mind, oh my God, am I getting something? Because you've been indoctrinated so much too. So what I start doing when I do sessions, some people donate, some people in very difficult situation, but I start, each person, I start making a little flower. So I said to myself, I end up giving to that person. If they donate, they donate. If not, maybe they didn't have anything and I'm fine. All of a sudden, I may get like $50, $60 throughout the day because somebody downloaded my books to watch my videos. And I go, oh, thank you, gratitude, and I leave it be. This way, you stay constantly in a positive and constantly giving. So in energy philanthropy, you actually were going to start doing, teaching yourself to start staying in the heart structure. Even if you tune in once a week, to start helping somebody just like that. So you can create a community which is above any of the structures for money or even the cryptocurrency. Because crypto is still some kind of exchange and it's necessary, because if right now we pull the entire monetary system, everything is going to collapse. As said, I can tell you another way. Everybody can receive $10 million in crypto, pay everything off, set up the new ecosystems, eco-cities, and go into absolute abundance. That's what I think in my head.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to happen. You can have a spacecraft coming, take you on board, and you don't need the crypto. Anything is possible. They don't need everything is possible because each one of us is creating their own ascension. What I'm going to experience as ascension is different from what you're going to experience. What you're going to experience is the level of vibration your consciousness is running in your agreements. And yet collectively, we're talking about it, we experience something, but individual, each one of you is going to experience whatever by agreement, and the level of understanding into the quantum structure you vibrate not. Because some people may think, oh yeah, I'm doing a juicing and I'm such a intelligent person. In the meantime, you go and you do something horrible to somebody by behavior. And let me tell you, this is exactly what they were watching, what they were testing. How you going to act towards other human beings. That was number one. Not how much money you have, not how famous you are, not how intelligent you are. Intelligence doesn't mean that you have a positive heart. Could mean you being completely manipulative. And you know that a lot of people in the structures are like that. What a brilliant manipulation, but it's not coming from the heart. It's coming from overtaking rule through fear, through, chaos, or with chaos, or how they call it, I don't know.
Marina, you said that our reality was like a dream it was like dreaming, our reality, our consciousness. How does it differ from our normal dreams at night when we are sleeping?
The same.
How is reality different from our dream worlds?
Well, this is very good question too, because I try to become lucid. This is how they taught me. Remember, I was taught hands-on everything. So I tried everything, you know. So within 2 weeks, I became lucid. I trained myself to be lucid. And if you want to try that, it's good to try that on my website, marinajacobi.com. If you go to the store, I kept the books. If you want to buy these books for lucid dreaming, I don't make money from that. I just post it because everybody was asking me. I trained myself how to become lucid. Within the second week, I woke up in my dream. The first thing I did was to open a portal. I knew immediately. I was very collective. You got to remember that in the lucid dreaming, you have to be, you have to control your emotion. For some reason, I was completely okay with it. If you get too excited, you can pop out of the dream and you can wake up. But when I opened the portal twice, and I ended up doing this 2 times, twice I was absolutely stopped to go into the spacecraft. Every single time I tried to go into the spacecraft. And I was told you're not allowed to be here. Why is that? Because they told me by agreement, I have to, they said, your dream state has no difference than your regular state. It's just a simply, if this is my dream state, you know, I'm dreaming here and I'm whoopee-doopee, I'm smiling, you know, and I'm in completely different reality, which is the earth, for example, you know, I'm here. You know, they said that this reality has nothing, there's no different than this one. The only difference is the frequency of the vibration. And the fact that you are believing 100% that you can do whatever you want. Because now you lose it, I can do whatever I want. I can fly, I can open a portal, which I end up doing, open a portal and going through it, you know. And this reality, we were indoctrinated, we were lied to that nothing is possible. It was condition after condition after condition given to us. So if I tell you right now, go ahead and move through the wall, you're gonna tell me I'm crazy. In actuality, in a lucid dream, you're going to open a portal and literally move through the wall, which I just did the other day. I end up moving. I've realized in my dream that I have power and I can move through the wall and I escape a prison that they put me into. Every single one, I was walking on water because in my thoughts, I knew that I'm powerful and I can do whatever I want. There's no difference here. You are taught, but you have to believe 100% that this is possible. And the problem is that we were indoctrinated that this is not. So now you got to teach yourself again that this is all possible. So in this reality, you can still raise your vibration and open a portal and go through the portal, wherever you want to go. But do you believe 100% that you can do it? You can do that through lucid dreaming. So they told me there's no need for me to go this way because I'm reconnected telepathically. I can create from my reality and their reality, third reality, so we can have an interaction if I want to go in a spacecraft. That's what they told me. I don't need to go to lucid dream in order for me to see them. I can do it from here, and there's a certain protocol to do that.
The fact is that through the lucid dream, can train ourselves, isn't it?
You can train yourself because not everybody can do the way I did it. So that's what I'm saying. It's good for you to practice different. Because don't forget, I started automatic writing. Then they trained me to learn hear telepathically. So I went through the steps of it. So then I went into lucid dreaming. I wanted to learn. Nobody stopped me. But when I ended up, because I needed to see for myself, because if they told me, don't do it, because I still gonna say, oh, I still want to experience it. So they let me experience, but when I went into the spacecraft twice, they told me I cannot be here because this is not the way I should get in. You can get in from this reality. What are you doing here? You're not on the proper platform. But some people may need to go this way in order to experience because, for example, they need to train from this reality. When in this reality to train, you already have the tools. The quantum protocol of manifestation is already out. So you can learn and study because the truth is we have to practice. When I was taught to do all this stuff, I had to practice. I had to teach my consciousness to start giving only from the heart, so I can stay on a fifth dimensional structure, so I can see my abundance and manifestation to support me. It doesn't matter if it's money, gifts, or anything else. Or remember when I manifested money for my children? Do you guys remember that example? Let me tell you, soon as my son said it, and it's always happening for my kids. Why? Because it's never a condition for your kids. It's not even one particle of doubt. It's always because it's in the heart. 100% for you. How you love your children, 100%. There's no doubt in there. So I literally thought, and I said, oh, I have money. I got up, I opened the stuff, I saw old money underneath was $10. Was exactly what my son asked me for. Brand new, like you taken out of the bag, brand new, just printed. That's how the money looked like. And I did that twice. So I've seen instantaneous manifestation. I've seen most of the time through probabilities. Now I'm going to think of something right now. And if one door closes, something else will happen. I go somewhere and I buy exactly whatever I need to get. Because I just thought of something. I don't need to do the big manifestation now of bringing my heart and feel this way, because in a daily basis, what do I do in a daily basis? Every day I keep giving and giving and giving. I am booked until June, middle of June. None of these people, I know who is paying me, who is not paying me. Couple of people just donated. I don't even know who's donating now. I'm just helping. And I know that whatever I need, I already have. So if I have need for something, somebody's gonna donate. If it's not this person, something else if I need the money. Literally, I'm living this day by day. But why is this happening? Because every single day, I'm talking to all over the world with different people, and what am I doing? I'm constantly giving. I have no idea, and it was never conditioned to any of these people. Even when you download my books, I put a PayPal, but I could have put through PayPal for you to go in so I can see who's down. I don't even know who's downloading the books. Because I said to my husband, I want you to just put it, to press it so people can download, so they don't feel uncomfortable if they don't have money to give me money. Because there are a lot of people from Russia and stuff like this that have absolutely nothing. $2 is their money for the day. I had somebody, I'm saying this for example, because I had a lady from Russia donated $2 to me. And PayPal, of course, took like 20 cents or something. It was laughable. And I said, oh my God, what a gratitude. That lady probably paid a salary for her day. I was going to ask, what do you need to give for me to give you? You know, so when you stay on that compassion, you're going to see completely different timeline, and your probabilities for manifestation start coming on and on and on. Just by you think, you're going to have the right people going to call you without you even, so you're going to think of something. People are going to help you. I just talked to somebody yesterday to run energy philanthropy. The people are going to be doing it probably, you know, it's all for free because it's going to go nonprofit. I'm not making money out of that because I was asked to set up the energyphilanthropy.org so we can start connecting with each other and stay on the vibration of helping while you're going and transitioning yourself through the monetary. You got to start crystallizing this probability of reality for you. So you have the detox, you have your quantum manifestation, and you have energy philanthropy, so you can see the platform step by step by step. It's all there for us.
And where it's going to be on service and just working hard.
All for service, because I get people when they said, what can I do? I want to be in abundance. And she ended up going into, I'm here to help you. If you wish to support me, support me. And she said, oh my God, Marina, I kept more clients than ever, and I made more money than ever, and everything was from their hearts. They told me when it's from the heart, it's completely different sequence vibration. I had a gentleman that told me, I was so eager to, he said, thank you so much for what you did, because you taught me to give from my heart. I was so happy of who you were that I couldn't wait to donate to you. That's what he said to me. And you taught me completely different feeling. I never had that feeling, he said. And it was for my book. He donated for my book. But this was the letters, and you make differences. And I'm not more than you. I'm just expression of you. So if I can do it, so can you. But somebody's got to hold the vibration. So even that, because we were discussing all this stuff, you know, when you have so many people, don't tell me that all these people don't have $5 to give you. People are being indoctrinated. And when you pull out and start giving, nobody knows what to do. But we have to start supporting the systems that are doing this. Because they told me that the change is not happening from the government, it's happening from within. So on a daily basis, whatever you do, this is the reality and the hologram that you're shifting, you're creating. Why is that? Because you as an individual are creating your own ascension of 5-dimensional earth. That's what you're doing. And you imprinting everybody in it. So nobody is outside of you. You imprinting and expanding that one nanoparticle that we just talked to infinite, and you imprinting every single particle, reality and sub-reality to infinite in your own ascension hologram process.
So ascension is a very individual thing.
Very individual thing. Very good. Yeah, you got it. It's very individual, depending on how, and yet you can imprint, for example, the way we did it today. And yet each one of us is doing their own ascension 5-dimensional, depending on how well you learn, how you implementing everything, how you're doing the stuff, and you imprinting everybody in it. Because if everything exists in a quantum structure, that means what? You already exist in 5-dimensional earth. So know it, own it. But in order to see that, you have to beware. In a heart structure. Why? Because higher dimensional sequences on a denser, less denser realities. So you have to match the vibration. And this is the tools how to match the vibration.
Marina, are you now in contact with the people from Cloud9, I think? Is it Cloud9?
11th dimensional.
11th dimensional people? Are you in contact with them now?
You're always in contact. You just, what's happening here, you can just put a thought and immediately you get an answer.
Now, we are a group of people in London here, and we are kind of all, I would say, spiritually advanced. And I was wondering if they perhaps have a message for us, or any of us in particular at this time that, I don't know, might help us in whatever we end up doing in our lives.
Okay, then I'm gonna go individual, because first of all, are there 3 people are divorcing or separation? There's some kind of a separation with 3 people from the group. I don't know who you guys are.
Okay.
Me. Next one. Who else?
Something else. You don't have to say.
No, now. Separating now.
Do you mean, Marina, in the process of divorcing?
Could be divorcing, could be separation, or splitting the realities.
Okay.
Because it's time for a change, shifting. 3 people are having a big shifting right now from the group.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the one with the heart problem?
The heart problem. Is anybody with a heart problem?
Do you mean the physical heart or the emotional heart?
Do you mean physical or emotional?
It's could be both in that particular person.
Okay.
There is a rupture if one of the orders. It's a woman.
Maybe she's not aware of it.
Yeah, maybe is not aware of it.
Yeah.
Could it be?
I'm a bit excited. It's,
Yeah. You have to stay in within, and you have to stop projecting from the heart, because the new vibrations are increasing so much. And within 3 months will be a huge changes energetically. You're gonna see a governmental collapse in UK, and you're gonna see politicians exposed.
Wow, that's interesting. Can't wait for the positive timelines.
It's a collapsing. They're saying it's already collapsed in these levels, but it's not told to the people. And we want to tell you, they said that you're already free. You're not being told, but we want you to believe it. Yeah. We want you to know it.
That we are, sorry Marina, can you repeat?
That you are already in fifth dimensional.
Yes.
Um,
We are already in the fifth dimension. Did you got that?
was there any bombing recently?
Sorry?
Did you guys go through bombing because they talk about some kind of a bombing in England?
I haven't heard of it.
Bombing?
Bombing?
There was a car attack, group of.
Oh, okay. It was all, they said this was all premeditated. This was all deep state to, they said when you disturb the frequency, if you project fear, then they're hoping that the people are gonna get the fear.
Is that the poison Russian guy? Is that the poison Russian guy? Russia.
They just told me the bombing, to tell you about the bombing, not to worry about this stuff. What they're trying to do is to create a fear, because you drop in the fifth dimensional structure.
Okay, Marina, do you have perhaps a message to help us in what we should do, you know, each of us individually in our lives? You know, I mean, so, I don't know, something more specific about.
The only way that you can do it is in the heart structure. That's why I discussed the heart structure, because I want you to, in a daily basis, to challenge yourself to start helping others, help yourselves, forgive the people that did something negative to you, and all this stuff, so you can stay in a vibration of the heart, so you can see this timeline. Remember, it's fractal, moment to moment. This is the reason I was talking moment to moment. This is number one thing that you need to do right now.
Stay in the heart.
Stay in a heart structure. The only way that you can see this stuff, because the heart structure is fifth dimensional structure.
Yeah.
Don't drop your frequency. If you drop your frequency, shift it back to positive by giving a gratitude. Learn to shift that emotion from negative to positive. Giving a gratitude to everything you have, so you neutralize it and start acting and shift the action, the emotion into positive, even if the person is being negative to you, because you want to shift the timeline. That's number one. That's all you need to do. Believe me, it's not that complicated. That's all we need to do to start going in the heart, to start giving, so you can start resonating in this frequency for timeline. Because you're already there. What the challenge is to stay on that positive emotion. That's the challenge. And now, how many people you see you know help? You need help. Why are you passive? I'm not saying for you guys. I'm saying as general. You know, they mentioning. So support the system, support your neighbor, support the friend and everything else. And you individually start acting from the heart. Because everybody sees homeless people. Why are you blaming the homeless? The system failed them. The drugs and all the stuff is like a loop.
But is it, can I ask something now in what you just said? Is it also the case of the people that they're in what we call in apathy? So they don't want to take any action because they don't love themselves. They lost the connection, let's say, with who they are. They lost the heart center actually.
They're not, they're gonna go into the reality, because it's individual, the one that they created from themselves. May not be fifth dimensional, and that's okay. They're going to recycle. I think the most evilness is going to recycle. They accumulated so much out of balance energy that it's gonna take lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes, and each lifetime you may not be able to learn your lesson, and you gotta reloop it. So they're gonna go to recycle, back to consciousness and stuff from the one thing and up the scale.
Can I ask?
Marina,
sorry.
Excuse me.
Yeah, please.
Did not
please,
understand what the recommendation was for the woman with the rupture in her heart.
Oh, they didn't say recommendation. Let her detox. It may need intervention also though for that person. So I cannot pinpoint who the person is. I can tell you, just pay attention to that. If anything happens, make sure that that person is going to need an intervention, because it's a rupture in the artery.
I've got a question.
It's connected with diet.
Sorry?
It's connected with diet, you said, Marina?
Yes.
With diet. It's connected with diet.
The walls are thin. They're not strong to hold the pump. That's what they're showing me.
Okay, Jake, do you have a question? Because I want to ask a question.
I see like a scar tissue also on it.
I do. Marina, I'm sorry. I know I asked you a question already.
Yeah.
But this one is more. This one's more personal about emotions. I know. Sorry. I know a lot of people who really want to do. They want to do good. They want to help a lot of other people. But they feel. The problem with them is they don't know how to make that switch over when they feel so bound down by the negative, by their circumstances. And a lot of them are going through hell, to be fair. And they want to do good. The saying that their spirit is willing but their body is weak. I mean, their spirit is willing but their spirit is also weak. You know what I mean? And they just don't know how to make that sudden snap over like that. And I think that's the real tragedy. Is a lot of them they could be reaching out, helping other people more. I think they love other people. But
So the question is,
how will they make that switch over so that they're now stronger? One of them said.
Transformation for these people.
Sorry?
The people that are good in their heart is going to be transformation, and they're going to be given the opportunity to go into fifth dimensional and maybe help the earth and stuff like that, because it simply did not happen because they're evil. It's because they were kind of weak and emotional.
Yeah.
Be able to do so. That wave that is coming is going to help them through it.
Right, because I think one of them even described himself. He said he feels like a sailing ship. That it's because when he feels controlled by emotions, are controlled by circumstances. Because a sailing ship can't sail against the wind, and he feels the wind is never going the way he hopes it will be. And he just feels instinctively bound down by circumstances. I'm wondering if there's a way he can sort of make that switch over to suddenly feel, to feel like my heart. I could change that frequency. How he can do that?
This is gonna take a will.
A what?
Will.
Willpower.
yeah.
Because you have to learn, you're here to master your frequencies, because you're made from frequency, sound, vibration. Once you drop the vibration, you gotta master it to bring it back to whatever you wish. And
Right.
it go randomly. And only your power of will is going to do that. They can show us the path, they can do it for us.
Right. Interesting.
That doesn't mean this person is good in the heart, and so they will be held through the new frequency energy. They will be held, but for example, they may not be the leading people that, for example, will make changes in a 5D or work with the extraterrestrial. They're simply gonna go into society and help and do whatever they need to help because they're good people and they're matched. But for example, they're not gonna be the leading age of complete change and doing everything.
Right. So they will still be able to do good, and they'll be
able to do that, but they're going to be able to do accordingly to their vibration, and they're going to see their fifth dimension structure in a different platform.
But if their vibrations can change, if they can mature emotionally, can they get to a stage? Can they get to a stage where they're the ones who can lead?
Yeah, as long as it's good in the heart, because not everybody is very powerful and will like that. As long as
Is something wrong? No. Thank you, Marina.
Okay. We can also say that it is also depend on their contracts in many cases, because we all have different contracts.
Yes, and everybody was given the choice for fifth dimensional structure. Even the negative side was given the choice to switch, because they said, and I'm quoting, if you were manipulated or something like this, and a lot of these people were manipulated, end up in the situations, they went into fear. They said, if you choose to do something incredible and to switch in the name of humanity, we promise you, they said, and I'm quoting, we will extract you out of the hologram, we reprint another hologram, and we're gonna give you a platform hologram Earth for new ascension. You can continue process. This is possible. They can extract, deconstruct your consciousness, and you will be given a new timeline so you can continue. You may not even remember.
Very good. Can I ask a question? I know we have discussed it in the past that through I'm a QHD practitioner and through, I mean, while I have the session, I am skipping time, and this is something that is still happening. I mean, it's keep happening. I am skipping time. I mean, we have 2 hours. I mean, even recently, a couple of days ago, 2 hours missing from the session. The recording is 2 hours, but when we finish the session, it's like 4.5 or 5 hours later. And I remember the previous time you said that maybe it's not only 2 hours, but it's 2 days possible because we are going somewhere else. What I am getting, and please let me know what you think and what the 11th dimensional beings can tell us, is that it's a multi-dimensional communication. This is what I am getting. And there is also the healing that is happening while we are in the session, and especially when we're in contact with the higher self. It's amazing because I can feel the waves of the energy filling up the whole room. So is it a scientific explanation of what is happening? And what the 11th dimensional beings want to tell us about that?
You're switching realities. And this reality is above 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional structure. And this is the reason why you don't remember and is not given a permission to do so yet. Because you're being prepared. I can't tell you for what, but look what you're doing right now. You know, so the right momentum is going to come. And the reason why you don't remember is because I was not allowed to remember. When they tried to hypnotize me, I couldn't go under hypnosis at all.
Yeah.
I had no idea that I would do stuff like this was years ago. Because probably didn't need to find out who I was. Because I remember they were saying that they were putting platforms in front so nobody can find me who I was.
So what is happening right now with me and all my session, is it something that I will learn in the future why it is happening?
Yeah, it will be all revealed. You will know exactly why. It's going to be one day through the session, you will be told, and it's going to be a vision and it's going to be a remembrance.
Okay.
Actually, for the group will be remembrance.
Okay.
And 3 of the group is with extraterrestrial souls of this group that you have.
3 of them, they are part of the extraterrestrials?
Yeah, but I'm not told who.
Okay.
What?
And the reason is because they gathering information. It's almost like a reporting.
Spies.
Like a spice, yes.
Yeah.
Are they aware they're spying?
It's reporting what's happening ground zero, basically. That's what it is.
Are they aware of what they're doing?
No.
Unconsciously.
Unconsciously, no. Subconsciously, yes. There was a situation of a girl, I never saw her. She called me, and within the stuff I said military. She goes, yeah, I'm in the military. And I go, so after the whole thing, we realized that she was in weaponry. And she said, I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like what's happening. But when we start digging in, she ended up being actually working for the extraterrestrials because they needed to know what's happening in that section. So I said, don't feel bad that you're in this place. You're exactly where you need to be, because what you basically is downloading information, what's happening from the beginning. So she was so happy. Everything changed for her. She realized that she's exactly where she needs to be and to do the best of herself, you know, because she didn't like what she was seeing. But she needed to be there because she was reporting information without realizing it. Her whole life, her whole demeanor changed that day because she realized how important of a job she was doing.
Yeah.
So don't think you're not insignificant. Sometimes we really don't know because sometimes you're just gathering information the way 3 of the group. It's because there's no disturbances this way. Then you're gonna start asking a lot of questions and you stop in the process. They don't want us to stop the process because that's why there's no also predictions. Because if you say a prediction and if you drop your vibration and do something else, you're gonna completely do something else. You're gonna lose the trust in them.
And what about now that you mentioned predictions about when there are by law, especially things that we have, I mean, in our contract, especially when it is in relation with other person, other beings, other people that we need to meet in our life in order to complete something of what is the lessons or the teachings that we're doing here?
That is depending if you really complete your contract. Basically, if you end up forgiving the person, if you end up learning your lesson to the point there is no any longer any type of frequency left of the stuff that you guys had as an agreement.
To be honest, I didn't have in mind like a karma, but a good thing, like a soulmate, like a somebody from your soul family.
That is very interesting because actually you may meet somebody like you really love each other. What they told me is in order to continue in the extraterrestrial platforms and the high other levels, it has to be through agreements, but it has to be so powerful, so potent that from both of the sides has to be very pure energy of love. And then you can be given the permission to continue through the fifth dimensional structure.
I see.
It's not going to be only one-sided, except you got to learn something and to do that. But in order to continue now, it has to be from both people, equal amount of love towards each other, you know, because that energy has to go somewhere. And if it's not returned from the person you think about it, you may not have that contract and you cannot have a contract. That's how it was explained.
I see. All right. Any other question, guys?
I'm sorry. If there was a contract, it's going to be changed from the high order of consciousness. The councils, they're the ones that can change the contract. You have to plead in front of them your case. Why do you want to do it? And it's all by agreements. I'm saying that because something was changed for me and they literally told me and I ended up doing the writing exactly. I was like the third person listening to them, how they were talking about that situation. And learn how they really operate. And literally take your information and they go that. And when I was introduced to the Council of Nine from Ra, the Council of Nine came in and I'm listening now and they go, oh yes, that's right, you were right. They said she doesn't have a one speck of evilness to do something bad to somebody. I don't remember it was the exact word, but basically they were looking at me not as they were looking at me as an energy to see anything to go after somebody and to be evil person to do bad stuff. And when they saw that was totally pure in the heart, then they decided to work with me. This is how it happened. They were watching what I was doing and what I was doing towards people. Was I doing negative stuff? Was I mean and lie and deception and stuff like this? Ego, you know. But you guys know about the BMW when I crushed the famous, show off that I did. But
I know what you're talking about.
You know. So now they're asking me, if you buy another nice car, we want you to do it, but you know not to put your ego in it. I said, yeah, I know. Because my ego went through anger. I wanted to replace my anger when people see, oh my God, and I'll feel good for myself. So your ego can come also from anger. So we have to watch out how we do stuff.
Amazing information. Marina, we are so grateful to have you here today. So grateful. Guys, any other questions?
I've got one.
Yes?
With healing, I've been doing healing for many years and not so much one-on-one now. Many years I've been just indoors doing planetary healing, and I just need to know, looking at people with addictions and resetting, are we allowed to reset their brain? Could it take them back if they got PTSD? Are they, like, this is a massive thing at the moment for people, that they so much, that their brains are constantly go back to that PTSD stuck. Are we allowed to reset that? If we know that, like, with our information that we have, are we allowed to do healing on that level? I mean, because it's just to take, not to take their experiences away and their own healing.
Yes, what they told me was that if the person is already there, is there because of synchronicity and is being given permission to try to do that. Yet, if you did everything possible and did not work, that needs to be more work needs to be done.
Right. Thank you.
So you do your best as long as the person is there, it comes there to synchronicity. You didn't go in this person's house without the person giving you permission himself.
Right.
So in your level of understanding from here platform, you're doing the right stuff. And yet, if that person, something needs to be tweaked or something is coming from a high level, you're not going to see really the change. As long as you've done your best, though, you've done your stuff. You didn't go without permission overtaking.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, very good. Any other questions? Yeah, Sabrina.
Hi, Marina.
Hi.
I've got a question about.
Sabrina, you one of the walk-ins?
This is Sabrina.
Lady over there. She's one of the walk-ins.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to ask a question about the detox procedure, the protocol. I know that you have to use distilled water, and then infuse the energy with 370 and 90. Is that right? I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, 370, 90.
Yeah.
20 minutes every single.
Go ahead now. Everybody line by line, sit whatever, so I can give you specific frequency for each person.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I believe also the video frequencies and sound is very useful, so we'll go there and have some more.
Go there and watch that too to be more clear.
What we need to do.
What you need to do.
Yeah. I think it's time to wrap it up. Marina, we are so grateful for all the information, the teachings, and the individual thing we did to everybody today. Thank you so much. And we want to ask you, would you be willing to repeat it in the future? The same meeting with the same people, maybe different or more? Who knows?
Yes, just let me know so we can set it up ahead of time. But thank you so much for everything, guys.
Thank you, Marina. I'm so grateful. Bye. 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 Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Eleni. Thank you so
much.
much.
Bye, Marina. Bye.